Okay, everybody, LabCoatAgents, we are doing our 10-minute live. And today, guys, I have to tell you, we've got an amazing rock star. I really am so excited. I'm getting the privilege of really taking these 10 minutes to interview and talk to this wonderful rock star of ours today. His name is Wilson Leung. Wilson Leung. So sorry. I'm going to butcher your name. I knew I should ask that question. I asked you and I still didn't, so I apologize. But I'm so excited to have you, and I'm so excited to speak to you today because I heard your webinar the other day when you were, on the webinar with Tristan, and wow, your story, your resilience, and where you are in your business today. I would love to talk about that, Wilson. So welcome, first of all.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to share, and if I can contribute to the community, you ask any question. I'm an open book.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. And I'm sure our viewers would love to, engage with us as well. But I just, knowing, and before we start, I know that I just spoke to you a little bit in the back and, backstage. And while we were talking, you said you just are about to close out on 120 units. Now, I know you're in San Francisco. We have sales volume. We push on that so much over here on this side of the country. But having 120 units, how did you do that? I would love to know.
Well, I guess maybe to start, my ceiling of achievement as an individual agent is only 10. So it definitely takes a team of individuals and specialized individuals. So.
Yes, and I'm sure you've trained them. I'm sure you've really, groomed them to be who they are today. That's amazing. Tell us a little bit about, and you said you have 15 listings probably coming on the market very soon and beginning of next year. How did you build yourself up to having this? And again, I know this will take another webinar and we can talk about it all day. I'd love to interview you, by the way. How did you do that in a year that was so tough for so many of us?
Yeah, it's definitely a gradual process. As we grew the team, I just had different focuses, and the difference between last year and this year, I think entering wintertime and the holidays and the new year, we had probably less than a handful of listings coming up for 2020. And this year, we've just made a push. We've had consistent conversations with our agents who, of course, they start as buyer's agents, but instead of just focusing on buyer business, as much as that's the first thing that I delegated on the sales side and focused on listings, I gave them the equal opportunity and right to service listings. So having a consistent conversation with our agents, not protecting or withholding their ability to take listings, has definitely helped our listing count heading into 2021. So I think the way that we split deals and the way that we structure our team is very fair. Every single person receives the same benefits I do, both on the buy and the sell side. So I'm not a hypocrite to my business. As much as I am the team lead, I still have to make my own contacts in my business because I am a salesperson and I do wear multiple hats. But that's fair with me. It's fair game. It's part of my success is because I'm a relatively traditional residential real estate agent.
Yes. And I totally agree with you, to be fair to our team. And I'm the same way when it comes to, what I get is what my team members get. Also, what service I get with my admins and my ISAs, so does my team. I totally agree with that. So it's a win-win together, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So tell me, what has been your biggest challenge during COVID?
I think the biggest challenge is our team pre-COVID, ever since I started building it and it involved another person, even pre-first hire, we showed up at the office every morning at a set time. And that's just a habit that's been built. So we went from a transition of meeting in person every single morning to start our days right, talk about our gratitudes, our wins the previous day, and what we want to accomplish next day, and also some objections or problems we're facing in business. And we took that digitally. And there definitely was a drop off in engagement from my team, just because you don't have to be fully present as you do when you're meeting face to face. You can be on your phone, you're in your home environment, and that was just a big change. And what I realized was I can't really force anyone to do something they don't want. Yet if I tie reward and if I tie risk to how they show up and how they could earn more or get another lead or feel more supported, I want it to be reciprocated. So if they showed up 50%, I'm fine with them showing up 50% because that means I commit 50%. If they show up 110%, I know who I need to commit more time with at 110%. So it's a two-way street. You know, we can't force someone to do something that they don't want yet, even if we want it, or if they want it, hopefully they could show us in their actions, not just what they say or what they put on a goal sheet.
And this is such amazing tips that you're giving in. I'm actually taking notes in the 10 minutes that we have with each other. But how have you adjusted your business, right? You actually accelerated in your business. So what was the adjustments that you made when all this happened way back in March?
Great question. And I think the time commitment is the same. It's the activities that have changed. So, from showing up for a huddle and then following up with lead gen, lead follow-up shortly after in the morning after our 1 hour huddle, we used to obviously make calls together. Now, parts of our requirements is also 8 hours of lead gen, which we used to do door knocking and open houses. Yet, as we know, in California and other states, we can't really do that anymore. Right. So we replaced our time. So instead of doing that, we replaced it with more calls. We got a little more strategic with our outreach. We went from more of a physical marketing presence, which is still important to our business, to more of a digital presence. So we focus more on videos. We focus more on webinars, maybe not in person, but over obviously the internet. So the question that we always have to answer is, how can we provide value to our consumers? And there's multiple bullet points of ways that you can provide value. And then the second part of it is, how do I share that message of value to more people over a period of time? So we realize that every day we can go to sleep and there's always more work to do in our field. Absolutely. So we need to have some sort of measurement of a win or success for each day. And what we do, how we track it is, instead of doing in the past, pre-COVID, 20 contacts a day and 8 hours of lead gen, we removed the 8 hours of lead gen and we encourage everyone to do 25 contacts per day, which obviously was 125 contacts a week if you're doing 5 days of work a week.
Perfect. And that's very similar to what we do. We do 20 contacts a day. Very similar. We need to talk, actually. It would be great. So let me ask you this, with all this that you got going in with videos and everything, how do you stay motivated and positive? It sometimes gets difficult to be positive and motivated. What is your secret?
Yeah, I think it's conditioning. Conditioning to focus on the positive things. That's why we started days with our huddle, and we talk gratitude and we talk wins and we focus on the positive things. And it's conditioning. I mean, if you time block a time to think positively about the things that did go right, I think you just don't have the attention or the energy to focus it on, the things that went wrong. Yet, I do believe the things that went wrong, we just recategorize as learning lessons, right? I'm a person that doesn't believe in stress and anxiety. I feel like we build confidence with ourselves by going through obstacles, by going through, tougher times. How can we really appreciate really good times if we haven't, overcome, or we haven't gone through, poorer times? So part of the process of being a human being is going through both and categorizing obviously losses and tougher times as lessons to learn, so you can obviously make a better future for yourself.
Wow, that is amazing. I love it, because again, I think the key is in how you carry yourself. What is your confidence like, and how do you deliver that with your clients, and how do you deliver that with your teammates, and what is your objection, and how you're teaching that as well, right? That's amazing. What have you learned about yourself from all of this?
Yeah, just keep moving. Just constantly move forward, constantly look for improvements. I'm no different from anyone else that's, just got into real estate. I've just applied myself for 9 years. Yeah.
And I know this question will hit home, but what kind of advice would you give newer agents or less experienced agents? I remember being in that position where, when I was first new in this business, I was always looking up to someone giving me some sort of advice. This is a great way that we can try and help as team leaders. What is the advice you would give?
I would say get as much exposure as you can. build a habit of being uncomfortable, because what you want, average is comfortable, uncomfortable is above average. So of course, there's going to be things that you have to obviously expose yourself to. It might be uncomfortable. It might be a call you don't want to make, or a door you don't want to knock, or a new method of lead gen or lead follow up that you're not used to. But as everything, I mean, if we're comfortable and we stay the way we are, maybe we should expect the same results, right? So even if you're asking a mentor for advice, part of that process of being uncomfortable and asking, even though you might have an expectation that they're not going to reciprocate you with obviously a positive response, it doesn't matter, just do it.
Right, just do it. That is, like Nike says, just do it.
Right.
Well, thank you, Wilson, for your time. Your 10 minutes is too short for us to really get into your brain and get to know what you're doing. But I know that you're a great person to talk to, and I look forward to doing this again, hopefully.
I appreciate the opportunity. So
yes, absolutely. Let's do this. Yeah. Well, thank you for your time, Wilson. I appreciate it.
Hopefully this was helpful.
Yes, very helpful. The notes I took really fast. You could see, a page of notes that I took as fast as I could jot them down, from one team leader to another. Hey, we're always growing, learning, and
exactly. There's always more to know.
Absolutely. And thank you. I learned a lot.
Thank you.
Bye, Wilson.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye.